Hello and welcome back to another tutorial from Neo Films. I'm Neo, and today we're going to be working in the Photoshop application in the Adobe Creative Suite. If you have the Creative Suite, then it comes with it. And if you'd like to add text to pictures or anything like that, then this will help you out definitely. Or if you want to just make some type of logo, some type of banner or something like that, I'm going to show you how to get started with that. So basically what I got right here is a quick composition I was working on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to make one for yourself. Open up Photoshop, and this is generally how you want to get started with Photoshop. You go to File, New, or Control N, and that's going to be your shortcut, and here you can make a new composition. You can customize it any way you want. Right here I gotta go on custom preset. You can go to Photoshop, size, US paper, international paper, and so on and so forth. I got it at 2.5 width, 3.5 height, and resolution at 300. Now I got it saved as that, but yours is going to start out as a resolution of 72. You don't want that. You want it at 300 dots per inch. That's the highest resolution that you can get. So once you have that, you click OK, and here's your new background. Well, your background is going to be locked right away. I like to always unlock it just in case. So you just double click on the right here. Just move your cursor over here, double click on the little lock box right there. Click OK, and boom, you're free to move the background. Whoops. Press Control Z undoes anything. So if I got it like that, I don't want to try to line it back up if it accidentally moves, which is kind of difficult, but I mean you can usually line it up pretty good. Then you just simply go like that, Control Z, and that's going to be your friend when you're working with Photoshop, because things will go wrong. So what we want to do is we're going to go over here to our tools, our toolbar, click on this paint bucket tool, or you can just press G, which is your shortcut. And if you hover over any of the tools, it'll show you the shortcut to it. So this E, eraser, you press E, goes to that, press G, goes to paint bucket, and now we're in the paint bucket. Associated with the paint bucket is the gradient tool, and that's going to be essentially kind of in the same drawer as it, in the same section of your toolbar, your toolbox. And you want to make sure that you don't get lost. If you don't see it there, make sure to go to your gradient, and there's your photo bucket tool. Boom, here's your color of your photo bucket, of your paint bucket. So what we can do is go right here and click on it, and we can change whatever color that we want. We can either type in the number of the color, which is, unless you know color numbers, you really don't want to do that. So what you can do is just go by sight, and right here it changes the top color is your primary color. It's going to be the color that's going to be used. So we'll go to like a navy blue. Boom. Click on the background, and whatever you have highlighted, let's say you have something like that, and then you go here, and then you go like that, and you just go like this. While that's still highlighted, you could change the photo bucket. It changes the color of, the paint bucket. Wherever you click it, it changes the entire surface area, you know. So yeah, you have that, and so yeah. And if you press Control Alt Z, you can go, you can undo multiple times. And then Control D deselects. If you have something selected, you can deselect that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add a new text layer. But speaking of layers, if you want to add something like I just did, like this, you typically don't want to just add it to your background layer, because once you do, then as you can see, and if you move it, then it affects the background layer. You always want to keep your background layer exactly what it is, a solid background layer. So if you're going to add a shape or something, always add new layers. Add as many layers as you have to. And I like to You can have layer 1, layer 2, layer 3. That can tend to get confusing, so what you want to do is add like circle, name it, because you're just going to have a bunch of layers over here eventually, and then you click on this layer and then you add that circle, and you can go here and you could colorize it, and when you move it, it doesn't affect the background layer. You see that? Control D deselects it. So that's very important. I'll go into detail more on layers and all that stuff in another tutorial. So let's stick to the plan, and we're gonna do some text. Up here, once you click on the text, you don't have to add a new layer for text, because that's a default. Automatically it adds a new layer. Once you just click on the tool for text, you can go horizontal type, vertical type, horizontal type, mask tool, vertical type, mask tool. Right here now we're going to do horizontal type, and I'm going to type something real fast right here, and this is pretty much the fundamentals. Once you start getting text stuff down, and then you can apply this to many other things. So here we have that. And like I said, once you have your text, you could either before you type it or after you type it, you can highlight it and change it, or you can go over here and change it, your text. But you typically have to go like this, and then you could change your text to whatever. See, that's kind of cool like that. Well, some of these that have a lot of effects on them. And these I downloaded from the internet for free. You can type in free fonts, and you'll download it, and a lot of them will come up, and you can just pick whatever ones you want. You can even be specific and say, hey, I want a cartoonish looking one, or hey, I want a grunge looking kind of font, or hey, I want cursive. Right here, this comes with the program. It's called Impact, and it's a pretty cool bold font that's on a lot of pictures that you see. And so now we got that. What we're going to do is quickly, and we're going to add a bevel. That kind of makes it stand out. Then we're going to add a stroke. And all these you could customize. You can customize the depth of the bevel, kind of make it stand out a little bit more. You could add this, adjust the size of the bevel. The bigger that you go, you could kind of make it look kind of bubbly. The less size of it, it kind of makes it just look like kind of a little bit three-dimensional. You kind of soften the edges. That kind of just gives it that bubbly look, or keep a kind of rough edge. And you can contour it. That kind of contours it more. And you can add texture as well, but the texture adds it to the whole font. And then once you go to your texture, you can click on some of these preset textures, but that down here is the same thing as a pattern overlay. So let's just keep that just plain for now. Let's go back to our stroke. We got it at 3 default. You can go larger, make it stand out more or less, but depending on what other effects you want to add to it, just a subtle. I like the default. That really helps a lot. You can change the color of it, change it to white. You see how it changes the effect of it. You can change it to red. You can change it to any color that you want. Let's keep it simple. Let's stick with black. You can add an inner shadow. That kind of gives it more depth, and again, you could adjust the angle of it. If you want to go opposite of the bevel or the same, you could change the distance of it and the choke of it, kind of how it's kind of contoured, and the size of it again. Kind of want to go subtle, and this is just to make it stand out a little bit more. You can add an inner glow, which you really can't tell until you start changing. You can change the color of it, and even still it's kind of well, you can adjust the size of the inner glow, and that's on the edge right now. Yeah, it's some of these effects don't really show up. So the inner glow right now, it's not really showing up. So the reason why is because it's a white background. So we got the white background. Okay, we go here to satin. You can change the color of the satin to whatever color that you want. It kind of gives it like a kind of a glow almost to it. You can change the contour. And again, these are just subtle changes, and but they're